this video, we are going to be clearing fractions in an equation. The steps for clearing fractions go like this. The first thing that you want to do is find the lowest common denominator, or the LCD. And the reason you're finding the LCD is because you're going to use this number to get rid of all the other denominators in the equation. After you find the LCD, you want to distribute that LCD to all the terms in the equation. You have to be fair to every single term, even if it doesn't have a fraction. The third step is a little tricky. It's to simplify each term. So when you're simplifying each term, you want to divide first to get rid of that denominator and then multiply. Once you clear the fraction, you can solve the equation as you normally would. Let's look at our first example. We're asked to solve 7 divided by 2 minus x divided by 3 is equal to 2x. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find that LCD. So the best strategy, I think, for finding the LCD is to start with your biggest denominator. So in this case, my biggest denominator is 3, and I'm going to do multiples of that denominator until my other denominator goes into it. So I look and ask myself, can I divide 3 by 2? No, I can't divide 3 by 2 evenly. So I'm going to go to the next multiple of 3, which is 6. Can I divide 6 by 2 evenly? Yes. So that means that 6 is my LCD. So now I'm going to pass out 6 to all the terms in the problem. And it doesn't matter where you put this LCD. You can put it behind the term or in front of the term. You just have to give it to every term. So notice that 2x didn't have a denominator, but I have to be fair and it still gets the LCD. All right, the next step is to simplify each term. Divide and multiply. And I think it's very important to show this step and not do it in your head. First, I'm going to take 6 and divide it by 2, which is 3. And now I'm going to multiply. 3 times 7 is 21. Next step, I'm going to take 6 and divide it by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now I have to multiply. Be careful here. The negative x times 2. So negative x times 2 is negative 2x. And then the last term, there's no denominator, so I don't have to do division. I just do multiplication. 2x times 6 is 12x. Now I'm going to just solve the resulting equation. So I need to get my x's together on the same side of the equation. So I'm going to add 2x to get rid of it on the left side. The minus 2x and the plus 2x cancel each other out, and I'm left with 21 is equal to 14x. The next step is just to divide by the coefficient of x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 14. So my solution is x is equal to 21 over 14. But because it's a fraction, we always want to simplify it. So I can divide the numerator and the denominator by 7 to simplify this fraction. So x is equal to 21 divided by 7 is 3, and 14 divided by 7 is 2. Now this is an improper fraction because my numerator is bigger than my denominator, but that's okay. I'm just going to leave it like that. The next problem, 5/8 plus 8a over 4 is equal to 2a over 3. So just like before, we're going to start with our biggest denominator, which is 8, and we're going to do multiples of 8 until the other denominators go evenly into that number. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, but 8 divided by 3 is not an even number, so I'm not going to use 8. Well, 16 can be divided by 4, but 16 can't be divided by 3 evenly. So now I use 24. 24 divided by 4 works. 24 divided by 3 works. So 24 is my LCD. So I'm going to pass out my LCD to all the terms in the equation. Everybody gets the 24. Now the next step is tricky. It's divide and multiply. And I highly encourage you to show this step. 24 divided by 8 is 3. And now I'm going to multiply. 3 times 5 is 15. Next term. 24 divided by 4 is 6. And 6 times A is 6A. Next term, 24 divided by 3 is 8, and 8 times 2A is 16A. So now we're just going to solve the resulting equation. So once again, I need to get my variable terms, or my variables together on the same side of the equation. So I need to move that 6A over to the right side. So I'm going to subtract 6A. And that leaves me with 15 is equal to 10A. Last step is to divide by my coefficient, which is 10. So my solution is A is equal to 15 over 10. Well, this can be reduced because 10 doesn't go into 15 evenly, but I can reduce the numerator and the denominator by 5. So A is going to be equal to 3 over 2. All right, just totally coincidental that we got the same solution for both equations. Number 11, n divided by 10 is equal to 9 minus n divided by 5. So we'll take that biggest denominator, which is 10, and we'll do multiples of 10. So 10 can be divided by 5, my other denominator. Remember, 9 is not a denominator. You can put an understood 1 under it if that makes you feel better. And you can see I don't have to worry about 9. I only have to look at 10 and 5 for my denominators. So 10 is my LCD. That was easy to find. So now we're going to pass out 10 to all the terms in the problem. So remember, 9 gets the LCD even though it doesn't have a denominator. Now I'm going to simplify each term. 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 1 times n is n. I don't really have a denominator under the 9. It's an understood 1, so I'm just going to multiply. 10 times 9 is 90. And in the last term, 10 divided by 5 is 2. And negative n times 2 is negative 2n. All right, now I can just solve this resulting equation. So I need to get my n's together on the same side of the equation. So I'll add 2n to both sides. That leaves me with 3n is equal to 90. And then I'll just divide both sides by 3. So n is equal to 30. And that's our solution. And number 12, we have 3/4 x plus 1/2 is equal to 1/4. Starting with our biggest number in the denominator is 4. And 4 can be divided by 2. So 4 is my LCD. So I'm going to pass out a 4 to all the terms in the equation. 3/4 x is one term, so don't try to separate that. Terms are separated by addition and subtraction signs, and there's no addition and subtraction sign between the 3/4 and the x, so that's all one term. So all my terms got 4, and now I'm going to simplify. Divide and multiply. 4 divided by 4 you can say is 1 and then multiply by 1, or you can just say 4 divided by 4 cancels out. So I'm left with 3x plus 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 times 1 is 2. And in the last term, 4 divided by 4 cancels out, so I'm just left with 1. Okay, in this problem, I need to get my constants together on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So 3x is equal to negative 1. Last step, divide by 3. So x is equal to negative 1/3. So that's my solution.